Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Peter Welch of Vermont with more on the impact of the jobs data on the campaign. And Congressman, you just heard our correspondent Peter Cook say, look, this report on Friday landed with a thud in the Obama administration. I mean, this makes it all the more difficult for Democrats to say that they've got a handle on the economy, that the jobs market is improving. What do the Democrats need to do to say to the Americans that they in fact have a handle on the economic recovery?
Well, the basic question is, are we going to look at the trend, which is positive, or are you going to stop at 1 month where we've had a bump in the road? You know, the 3 months preceding this were 200,000 job growth a month. This month it was 120,000. So that's disappointing. But in the context of the trend, and also the trend where when President Obama started out, we lost 800,000 jobs coming off of the Bush administration, several million jobs over the course of that, and now we've created a couple of million jobs. Big question will be the trend. We're going to have another report in a month, and let's see what that is. But if people feel the economy is going in the right direction, that's obviously good for the president. If they feel it's going in the wrong direction, then that's always tough on a sitting president.
But, you know, some economists have come out and said, look, this number was actually quite a shocker, you know, a one-off or not one-off in that scenario, Congressman. So what can Democrats do in the meantime until the next report comes out to reassure Americans that they're doing everything they can to improve the jobs market?
You know, frankly, I don't think it's just what Democrats can do. I think all of us, Republicans and Democrats, have a responsibility to put politics aside and do something like, say, pass the transportation bill. You know, Congress has not passed the bill that has been the most helpful in getting jobs created in this country, and that's a transportation bill. We've passed temporary extensions, a 90-day extension, and the Republican leadership is unable to get the votes on its side to pass a bill. That's a very concrete example of how politics is getting in the way of doing things that would be good for jobs.
And is this going to make it even worse? A bad report like this going to make that political sort of, you know, stalemate that we've seen even worse?
Well, it does, because obviously this is seized on by both sides to try to make political hay. Bottom line, what people want is a job. They don't want the political finger pointing.
Right.
And do we want to have cheerleaders for failure because we've had one bump in the road, and that allows us to erase the fact that we've had 3 months of 200,000 a month job growth, that unemployment is down from close to 9% to 8.2%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positive things, and it's just depending on whether you're on the Republican side or the Democratic side in the presidential campaign, you pick what you want to emphasize. But bottom line, this is indisputable. The job growth numbers are going up as a trend, and it's a reversal from what happened going into the recession.
Congressman, let me just switch topics on you for a moment, because we were just talking about this London trader, right, called the London whale, and the $100 billion bets he's created or he's put in the derivatives market, and how that's distorting the markets. What questions do you have on this? You're part of the Oversight Committee. What questions do you have on something like this? Well,
there's a couple. First of all, it's that kind of conduct on Wall Street that got us into this job mess, that got us up close to 9% unemployment. You know, that's this financial recession that was caused by Wall Street manipulation. It was this conduct, outsized bets. That's J.P. Morgan, taxpayer guarantee, too big to fail. So this is unbelievable, actually, that this conduct is continuing again when we just are still trying to recover from the last binge. But what it says is two things. Number one, there's got to be some, I think, real discipline at J.P. Morgan, and I hope they will get into this immediately. Number two,
well, would you use your congressional powers? Well, Congressman, let me just interrupt you for a moment. Would you use your congressional powers to get some answers there then?
Absolutely, because this is really putting the taxpayers at risk. This is a too-big-to-fail situation. That's number one. Number two, it's manipulating the markets. We need a strong financial system. But that financial system has to be in service of the productive economy, not in creating huge bonuses for these outsized traders. When they fail, the taxpayers pick up the tab. So it does raise questions as to whether or not we've got to aggressively move forward on the Volcker rule, where you don't have banks betting their own money and taxpayer money, in effect, like it seems to be at risk in these trades.
Okay. All right, Congressman, I'll have to leave it there. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Congressman Peter Welch from Vermont. Still ahead, Alcoa kicking